Texas beer. Nowhere but Texas, that's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. I know one thing.
Welcome to Tutorial Thursdays, and thanks to Steve Helms for allowing us to use his music for the intro. I hope y'all enjoy. So we got 2 lobster tails for this recipe, and you'll take some poultry shears and cut up the backbone, basically, in between the shell and the meat, and you'll be able to spread it apart and start pulling the meat away from the shell. It should come off pretty easy, as you see here, and just get those shells off. Put the shells to the side, and we'll slice these in half and get marinating.
To all my dreams, I know one thing. When God calls me, nowhere but Texas is where I'll be.
Alright guys, so go ahead and take a sharp knife and split them down the middle. It'll be easier to marinate 4 separate pieces versus 2 whole pieces. I use a mason jar. I'm using some red shrimp. They are already peeled and deveined. And I will leave a recipe for both the beef and the seafood marinades in the post. But yeah, you marinate these for at least 4 hours, and then we'll get on to the meat here. So we got some Axis tenderloins and some whitetail backstraps that are already butterflied. These are from my local butcher here in Rendon Meats. But you can go to any grocery store, get you some beef tenderloins, some filet mignon, ribeye, just any steak that you want to use for this recipe. Because we're going to slice them up into medallions and place them on top of some awesome grits.
There's no way I'd ever leave. Everything I'll ever need is right here. Right here. When I'm gone, you can bury me 6 foot deep in the heart of nowhere but Texas. That's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. I know one thing. When God calls
Beer butter sauce that we're making with Nowhere But Texas beer by Legal Draft.
is where I'll be. Nowhere but Texas.
So you're going to let that simmer on medium heat. It'll reduce down to what you see here. It'll get a little bit brown, a little bit more creamier. And then this is when you'll add all the 12 ounces of diced up butter. So for the beer butter sauce, we're going to need to strain out all of the solids. So that's the garlic, the shallots, and the thyme. So just find you a little strainer in a mason jar and just go ahead and pour everything in there. And of course you'll take your spoon and kind of mash it all and let that get through there. And you got your dipping sauce for the steak and for the lobster tail and the shrimp. After we actually had this dinner this evening, everyone liked it drizzled on top of everything. So it wasn't necessarily just for the seafood like it was made for. It worked well with the tenderloin. Now it's time to smoke your poblano pepper for at least 30-40 minutes at 225 and then dice it.
Green Hall and Billy Bob's, Tex-Mex and barbecue.
Grits, you'll do 2 cups of water, 2 cups of milk, and you'll slowly pour in your cup of grits until it starts to thicken up. It's about 5 minutes, so you can set a 5-minute timer. It will thicken up, and then you'll take it off the heat. You'll add your poblano peppers as you whisk it. Boom, there it goes. That was a little quick. And you'll throw it into a smoker at 325 for an hour. it's going to be pretty tasty. Now it's time to season the meat. I use a salt, pepper, garlic on both sides, as well as 1836 by Suckle Busters. So basically any beef seasoning, your favorite brisket seasoning, just go ahead and lay that on there. Of course, flip it over and let everything kind of sit for a little bit. Pat it in, don't rub it in, and just let it sit for a while, and it'll tack up. The marinade is already gonna help keep it on there, and some might fall off, but trust me, this is gonna have a lot of flavor.
6 foot deep in the heart of...
Are y'all getting hungry yet? So we're gonna season the seafood, the lobster tail and the shrimp, with some Cajun seasoning. We're using a Chupacabra's Cajun blend tonight for this recipe. I suggest any Cajun inspired seasoning you have at the house, but if you want to get Chupacabra, by all means go for it. Now it's time for the cooking. So we got our grill grates in place. These are some anodized aluminum interlocking plates that get really, really hot, and they're going to be, the temperature of the cooker set at 475. These are probably around 525. So we're going to lay everything out. We're going to do the meat to an internal temperature of 130, and that'll carry over to about 135. And on the lobster and the shrimp, we're going to go for an internal temperature of 145. And then halfway through your cook, about 3.5 minutes, go ahead and flip everything over. You'll get a nice little char marks already at that point. And just let it ride out until you get to your internal temperature of 130 on the meat, 145 on the seafood, and feel free to flip over a couple of times if you want to get those hash marks on there.
Right here. When I'm gone, you can bury me 6 foot deep in the heart of nowhere but Texas. That's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. I know one thing.
Thank y'all for watching Tutorial Thursdays, episode 1. More to come.